Welcome to WWP Clips. This is the official Clips channel for We Want Picks. We'll be uploading our individual fight breakdown videos here, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And as always, go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. Next up, at UFC Vegas 57, we have Raulian Paiva taking on Sergey Morozov. Raulian Paiva is 21-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's coming off that loss to Sean O'Malley. Sergey Morozov is 17-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's coming off a submission loss to Douglas Silva de Andrade about 3 months ago in a fight that he did dominate the first round. Raulian Paiva is coming off a first-round loss to Sean O'Malley, where he never really found his footing. But before that, he had an absolute war with Kyler Phillips. And if we learned anything from that fight, it's that while Raulian may not be amazing anywhere, he's an absolute dog. Paiva's well-rounded. He's tough. He absolutely refuses to quit. He's primarily a striker, and he has some power. His wrestling isn't great, but he has good grappling with threatening BJJ off his back. He is fighting a wrestler in this matchup, but in all 4 of his UFC wins, he has been taken down a total of 7 times. So he is no stranger to fighting and beating wrestlers in the UFC. Sergey Morozov is a very busy striker who also averages more than 3 takedowns per fight. He's a good counterpuncher with solid power. His counter strikes work really well for him because he baits you into a striking match before he lowers his level, drops down, and takes shots at your legs. Even in fights where he is taken down, like against Umar Nurmagomedov, he just never stops moving. He never settles in, and he's constantly working for something. And this should be a really fun fight between 2 dogs with negative striking differentials who just do not stop coming forward. Both of these guys are willing to slug it out, but probably shouldn't be. And this is another tough fight on a well-matched card, but I do think Morozov can get the win here. And obviously his grappling is important in this fight, but so is his counter striking, because I don't want to put Morozov and Sean O'Malley like on the same level at all, but Sean lit Raulian up, right? Raulian just coming forward, couldn't find his rhythm, and Sean lit him up. And that counter striking from Sergey and Raulian just running in to close the distance, he does pretty recklessly. I think it's going to set up Sergey striking and set up his wrestling. So I like Sergey to win this fight. I think it's going to be ugly, but I think it's going to be fun. What do you think, Jackie boy?
No, that was the perfect. I mean, that was the absolute perfect breakdown as far as the counter striking, because when you watch Morozov, especially in that Douglas fight, he's a pretty measured guy. He dropped Douglas bad, and he kind of got in a bad situation in that fight because he was trying to chase the finish, and then I think came out the second round and thought, oh, let me just go ahead and finish this guy, and then it was like, oh shit, he got hit in the head, and he started running around, running from the fight. He got a little too aggressive in that fight, where normally he's a pretty measured guy, which, as you mentioned, against a guy like Paiva, who comes across very aggressive at times, could put him in a lot of trouble, being Paiva being in trouble, because we saw he struggles with speed. Like he's lost to Kai Kara-France, a very fast guy. Kyler Phillips, he won that fight, allegedly won that fight, but Kyler dropped him as well. Sugar, obviously very fast, put him in some trouble. I think Sergey can find some nice opportunities with the counter striking that you mentioned. Paiva's not an easy person to put away. It was kind of surprising that Sugar was able to put him away after you saw him kind of rebound against the Kyler Phillips fight. He was dropped and came back and kind of made a late storm. It was kind of surprising to see him get dropped and finish like that, because he is a warrior. He'll get dropped, keep coming back, and that's when he'll try to use some offensive wrestling. Good offensive wrestling, good defensive wrestling. Not the best, but he can do it to survive if he does get in a bad situation. But I think this is another one of those fights where I like a lot of favorites on this card. This is another situation where I feel like it's Sergey's fight to lose. As long as he doesn't do something stupid, he should be able to win a decision here. I don't see a finish necessarily in this fight. He's another one of those people. There's not a lot of bets that I like in this fight, even though I like a lot of favorites, but I like him at the money line. I feel like it's pretty good value. I got it at minus 130. I put 1.3 units on it to get a unit back. I love him in this fight as long as he doesn't get a little bit crazy, because he got a little crazy in the Douglas fight. He got caught. He paid for it. If he just stays measured, working some good takedowns, I think he can win a decision pretty handily. Nothing against Paiva. I like Paiva. He's a tough warrior guy, and he's going to be around for a while, but I think this is Sergey's fight to lose.
Yeah, we're pretty aligned there. So DraftKings wise, I think $8,500 is worth it because I do think he'll work in some takedowns. He could potentially get a finish. Raulian Paiva has been in some wars. And I don't know if Sean O'Malley just hits that freaking hard, or poor Raulian Paiva at 25 fights is his chin's starting to give out a little bit. But I do like Sergey at $8,500. There's a couple 9,000 fighters I'm not in love with, so $8,500 allows you to afford some more mid-level underdogs. You agree with that?
Yeah, I didn't listen, but I 100% agree.
That's an agree. Monkey Knife Fight strike line 48 to 59. It's a tricky one. I'm probably not going to touch it because if I didn't just see Julian get knocked out the way he did, or Raulian get knocked out the way he did, I would say more. But Sean O'Malley might have taken. I actually don't know what his chin is going to be like now, so I don't know. And Sergey may be able to get to it. It's tricky.
Yeah, he's a hittable guy. That is a tricky line because Sergey is when he sits on it, he sits on it.
Well, yeah, look what he did to Douglas Silva de Andrade, who's a tank of a man. That same exact punch that connects to Raulian won't just drop him. It would probably put him out. So I don't know what to do with that Monkey Knife Fight strike line, but I do know what to do. If I go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, I would sign up, make a deposit, and then they would send me $50 as a thank you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. We have 5 partners. Sign up with any one of them, make a deposit, and we send you $50.